Hello guys, Mr. Chu with another video, and in this one I want to talk about the Blazing Dominion and what's going to be good and what's going to be getting worse, and which cards are getting more popular and what might be hit on the ban list that we probably need to get soon. So first of all, the Crimson King is the cover card of the set. Our Jack Atlas is getting a lot of support. Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna push this deck to a tier 1 meta threat deck, but it's gonna be a fun deck and it's gonna have really cool lines. So if you want, try it out. Also, Crimson Blade Dragon is a free search for Habakiri, so keep that in mind. Maybe a Red Dragon Archfiend with Mitsurugi is in the brewing. There's gonna be Fairy Tale support in this pack, and a lot of people are saying that Snow might return because of that, but I don't think that's the case. I think the Fairy Tale cards are there to promote the Charmers, but I don't think that strategy is gonna be too hot. What's gonna be hot is Doomsday, Elf Note, and Archmage. All of the above are getting support. New power patrons for each one. It's gonna be interesting. Doomsday is looking like the top meta contender from those three because this card just says cards cannot be added from the main deck to your opponent's hand except by drawing them, which is basically Colossus. So this strategy is going to be oppressive. I really want to try the Regina and the Elf Notes. So this probably is going to be something that I would do. Experiment with Elf Notes. They're going to getting better with the other support when we get the Synchro 10 for Elf Note, but until then, this deck is still going to be solid. Talking about solid, probably the most hyped deck from the new set, already out in Master Duel in full power, Kotun. So Rotary is the new DJ that is getting released for the Kotun, and it's really great. It allows you to look at your opponent's hand and add the spell, which is also insane. So your Kotun can now look at your hand, look at your top deck, pop, banish from your extra deck, and do so many things. It manipulates your monsters' levels. In the right pilot, Kotun I think is the contender for the top spot in Blazing Dominion. Of course, we have to see if they hit something on the bottom list. I don't think they're gonna hit anything Kotun related. But if some of the cards that hurt this deck get hit, like Dimensional Fissure and Shifter, also this deck, I think it has a tendency to lose to Nibiru a little bit, but with Rotary to search the spell, and then you have Clip, maybe doesn't lose to Nibiru anymore. We have to see. Then I want to talk about the new Solemn card, Solemn Report, really interesting card. You can activate this card at turn. It will sit by revealing one other set trap you control. So basically, you set one card, then you set this, and then you can activate it by revealing what your other set is. And it doesn't, but it has to be a trap. So you can't just set like a super poly and then just reveal super poly and activate this. So maybe this effect is gonna be tough to resolve, but if you're playing a deck with a lot of Dominus cards, maybe it's not gonna be that hard, or maybe Imperm. And this is gonna counter exactly those cards on your turn. So if you want to use it as a stop for all the spells and traps they activate as hand traps, you can by revealing another one. Otherwise, it's just going to be a great disruption, because If you don't know what it does, pay 1500, negate activation of spell and trap, destroy that card, and if you do, for the rest of the turn, neither player can activate cards or the effects of cards with the same original name. So if they imperm you, you can reveal another trap, activate this, negate the activation of imperm, no more imperms this turn. Or you can play 3000, negate the activation, and banish the card that they activated. Then your opponent banishes all cards with same original name from their hand and deck. We have to remember this is a counter trap, so the most popular card in the previous meta was Forbidden Droplet for me, and this can stop Forbidden Droplet and can just banish all Forbidden Droplets, and this can stop the new Forbidden spell, Forbidden Crown, and it has so many applications. One of the most obnoxious application it has in Radiant Typhoon, if you stop a Mystical Space Typhoon, you can just banish all Mystical Space Typhoons that your opponent has, and basically Radiant Typhoon can't play without MSTs. So Radiant Typhoon not looking too hot in Blazing Dominion. Now for cards that are getting played more and more in testing, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, a lot of applications for this card. A lot of monsters need to stay on the field. Kutun included. There's the Archmage, continuous spells and traps. There's a lot of applications. I think Doomsday really folds to Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit if you use it on the right spot. So I think this card is going to gain a lot of more popularity. Then Vidrolus Harmonia. This is maybe the most hyped hand trap. It was really impactful in the OCG, and this card was crazy expensive. Probably Konami is going to make this a secret, of course, and it's going to be crazy expensive here as well. So if you don't know what it does, it's a level 7 Dragon Tuner that states when your opponent activates a monster effect on the field. Quick effect, reveal this card and up to 5 synchro monsters. So one thing you need to remember, you don't have to reveal 5 synchros. You can reveal 1 synchro, special summon this card. You can reveal 3 synchros. You can special this card and then send one of the revealed synchros from your extra deck to the graveyard. If you reveal 5, which I think most of the decks are going to be doing, is on top of that you can destroy a monster. So this destroys only monsters. One thing to note is if you're under Dimensional Fissure or Dimensional Shifter or Macrocosmos, you can still activate this revealing 5, and it's going to special summon this card, and it's going to destroy a monster, but it's going to send your extra deck monster to the banish pile, because this is not a cost, this is an effect, so it's just going to get banished. But still, this is a really good interruption. It's a level 7 tuner, so Kutun can use this and go into their level 10 new synchro called Back to Back really easy. So yeah, this is going to be really impactful. Because it's going to be really impactful, I think a lot of people are going to put Bestial Magnemut in their deck, because this is a dragon. This can search a dragon. This is also good against Fiendsmith and some light and dark decks. And with the addition of Domino Spark to the pool, I think light and dark decks are going to be super strong next format. If you don't know what Domino Spark does, is if your opponent activated a monster effect in hand or graveyard, you can activate this from your hand. Target one monster your opponent controls, banish it. Then if you have no traps in your graveyard, your opponent can special summon one monster from their hand. And if you activate this from your hand, you're locked out of everything except fire and light. So this card can be used to banish some very like big choke points and just can give you the win, because if you're playing like a dark only deck, you don't care about the locks. Dominus Impulse and Purge can be combined with Dominus Spark, and these were the best Dominus cards yet, so I expect a lot of pure dark or pure light decks to just use this and be able to push through. So if Dimensional Fissure and Shifter are not hit, like this needs to be banned and this needs to be banned for me, but they probably will limit it to one or some silly stuff. If they don't hit these cards, some of the new decks are just struggle against these, and Draco Tailor struggles against these. So if they decide to not hit these, I think a lot of decks that rely on Dimensional Fissure can be strong. For example, Mitsurugi can be really strong with Dominus Spark, Dimensional Fissure, and Shifter, and you can play Fidrolis Harmonia, you can play Magnamot in that deck, you can play all the non-engine. And one scary deck that didn't receive any support but actually received support if these don't get hit is Malice. Malice can use Dominus Spark, the Fissure and Shifter cards, and Impulse, and can really dominate. Then Drone Logbird hits a lot of the new strategies. It's gonna be a good card. We're gonna see what happens on the ban list with it. Meows if Orcust, Mitsurugi, and Malice are top of the meta with Dominus Spark giving them the edge. Meows will see a return to the side decks. Then Fualos looks like one of the best hand traps still, but a lot of Kutun lists decided to not run this in the main deck but put it in the side because it's not a tuner, so it's dead when you're going first. Then Perulia again is going to be a really solid side deck card because it hits so many decks now. It hits also the elf nodes. And Ash is going to be the staple that we all know to stop these cards. Because of Fidrolis Harmonia, I've seen people put Ultimate Slayer in their side decks because you already run the targets for Fidrolis Harmonia, and some people were trying to use Super Poly with Sea Monster of Theseus to counter Kotun. So you already have a fusion target, you already have a synchro target, and if you put like something like Typhon, you don't really need to commit anything for an extra exceed. So yeah, Ultimate Slayer can be a good card if you want to deal with, for example, the Doomsday equipped with the trap and things like that. And yeah, I think this is all that I wanted to talk about in this video. Hope you find this information helpful. If you liked it, please subscribe and let me know what else you want to see, and I'll try to make it happen. And until next time, this was Winterchill. Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye guys, I'll see you in the next one.